Very glad to welcome you all to Gītā Yoga Saturday evening satsang. So, welcome all devotees. For those who have come here for the first time, or we would like to welcome you all by saying Hare Krishna Mahamantra once. Please, everyone together, welcome all the individuals. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And I'd like to start by saying, we have, for me, we have all many senior exalted Vaishnavas here, and I am not qualified to sit here in front of them. So I fell down at their feet, begged forgiveness, and I asked their blessings. And only by their blessings and guidance, I would be able to say something on Bhagavad Gītā and Srila Prabhupada words. So I fall down at their feet again, and with their permission, I'm taking this forward. So please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय बुदले श्रीमदे भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनेति नामने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So actually, His Grace Shushan Prabhu used to take class here, and we are looking at Bhagavad Gītā as it is, chapter 16. We are looking at the nature of demoniac people, and today we are going to see Bhagavad Gītā 16.19. So first I'll just go word by word. Tam ahaṁ dviṣataḥ krūrān saṁsāreṣu narādhamān kṣipāmy ajasram aśubhān āsurīṣu eva yoniṣu tānahaṁ dviṣataḥ krūrān saṁsāreṣu narādhamān kṣipāmy ajasram aśubhān āsurīṣu yoniṣu tānahaṁ dviṣataḥ krūrān saṁsāreṣu narādhamān kṣipāmy ajasram aśubhān āsurīṣu yoniṣu tāmahaṁ dviṣataḥ krūrān saṁsāreṣu narādhamān kṣipāmy ajasram aśubhān āsurīṣu yoniṣu.
Saṁsāreṣu narādhamān kṣipāmy ajasram aśubhān
kṣipāmy ajasram aśubhān
āsurīṣu yoniṣu
āsurīṣu yoniṣu
ahaṁ dviṣataḥ krūrān
ahaṁ dviṣataḥ krūrān
saṁsāreṣu narādhamān
saṁsāreṣu narādhamān
kṣipāmy ajasram aśubhān
kṣipāmy ajasram aśubhān
āsurīṣu yoniṣu
āsurīṣu yoniṣu ahaṁ dviṣataḥ krūrān
saṁsāreṣu narādhamān
saṁsāreṣu narādhamān
kṣipāmy ajasram aśubhān
kṣipāmy ajasram aśubhān
āsurīṣv yoniṣu
āsurīṣv yoniṣu ahaṁ dviṣataḥ krūrān saṁsāreṣu narādhamān kṣipāmy ajasram aśubhān āsurīṣv yoniṣu ahaṁ dviṣataḥ krūrān saṁsāreṣu narādhamān kṣipāmy ajasram aśubhān āsurīṣv yoniṣu.
Anyone else? Okay. Tan, those. Aham, I. Dviṣataḥ, envious. Krūrān, mischievous. Saṁsāreṣu, into the ocean of material existence. Narādhamān, the lowest of mankind. kṣipāmy, I put. Ajasram, forever. aśubhān, inauspicious. āsurīṣu, demoniac. Eva, certainly. yoniṣu, into the wombs. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. Purport. In this verse, it is clearly indicated that the place of a particular individual soul is in a particular body is the prerogative of the supreme will. The demoniac person may not agree to accept the supremacy of the Lord, and it is a fact that he may act according to his own whims. But his next birth will depend upon the decision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and not on himself. In the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 3rd Canto, it is stated that an individual soul after his death is put into the womb of a mother, where he gets a particular type of body under the supervision of superior power. Therefore, in the material existence, we find so many species of life, animals, insects, man, and so on. All are arranged by the superior power. They are not accidental. As for the demoniac, it is clearly said here that they are perpetually put into the wombs of demons, and thus they continue to be envious, the lowest of mankind. Such demoniac species of men are held to be always full of lust, always violent and hateful, and always unclean. The many kinds of hunters in the jungle are considered to belong to the demoniac species of life. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-salakya Chakshur-militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. So, those who are familiar with this chapter, from the beginning till this verse, Lord is explaining about different qualities of demoniac. There are so many qualities. Just to see, when I read this, I will just check whether I, in any case, fit into this category. It's very scary if you read this verse. The verdict of Lord is clearly mentioned. Those who are demoniac, they are put into And he says, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence into various demoniac species of life. So naturally, as human beings, we have the cognitive ability to think and see our consciousness, why we are here, and things related to the self. And if you see here, Lord is saying the demoniac are put into demonic species of life. And Srila Prabhupada mercifully added this one last line in the purport. If you see carefully, you will get relief. At least I got relief by that. The many kind of hunters in the jungle are considered to belong to the demoniac species of life. What relief, at least I am not one of them. So, and again, if you read the verse a bit closely, in the beginning, Srila Prabhupada also says, the demoniac person may not agree to accept the supremacy of Lord. So that is another way, and just by saying you all are here, so I take it for granted that you all agree with Supreme Personality of Godhead, and of course we are all on different levels of our surrender to the Supreme Lord. But definitely we would say we are not demoniac. And we can take this as an information way from Supreme Personality of Godhead to let us know what will happen to the demoniac, not to, say, it's not for us, we would say that. And again, if you see that, he's saying the demoniac persons may not agree to accept the Supreme Personality of Srila Prabhupada is saying the demoniac person may not agree to accept the Supreme Personality of Lord. So, faithlessness is again a big, most common thing among the people around us, and we are also some part of, faithful and faithless. Prabhuji, please. So, we all have come across this faithless people and this particular thought. Just think about it, they say, there is no God, it's just your faith. How many of, I am certain all of us must have come across this thing. Many people just say, no, it's just your faith and I don't believe it. You have God and I don't have any God. And, regarding this, like my spiritual master, he used to send daily thought for the day emails. And this week, I think it's on a couple of days before, there was a very strong criticism and opposition by a person. He wrote a letter to my Guru Maharaj saying, Hare Krishna Mahamantra itself don't have any power, it is just your faith. And because of your faith, you think it has some power, otherwise there is no such mantra, there is no God. And that is what he has challengingly wrote to my Gurudev. And Gurudev just replied to that in just one line. He says, faith or no faith, fire burns. Right? It doesn't matter whether you believe it burns or you don't believe it burns. If you touch the fire, it burns. That's what it completely boils down to. So when we talk about faith, of course that person might have burned a lot. So when we talk about faith, we have a very interesting verse and explanation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gītā as it is 4.39. We'll just look at that verse, a very beautiful verse and explanation regarding faith by Srila Prabhupada. Every time we read this, it's an amazing thing. Shraddhava labade jnanam tatpara samaya tendriyaha jnanam ladva param santim achrena nadi gacchati. A faithful man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who subdues his senses is eligible to achieve such knowledge, and having achieved it, he quickly attains the supreme spiritual peace. So, Srila Prabhupada very beautifully, if you just split this purport and see, Prabhupada is saying, a man who is dedicated to this transcendental knowledge, that is not enough. Just dedicated to listen to this transcendental knowledge is not enough. He's again saying one who subdues his senses. Only for the person who has subdued his senses is eligible to achieve such knowledge. And of course, many people will take up this process. Now I have a colleague, when he saw me and come to this satsang and all, he said he's very interested. He said, man, I will also start chanting. It looks very, he say, man, it's cool. Then he started chanting, and after sometimes he came back and complained. You all are saying there is so much pleasure and so much happiness in following, but I am doing, but nothing seems to happen to me. Then I asked him. He is, of course, familiar about the 4 regulative principles, chanting 16 rounds and all other things. And I asked him, what did he follow? He said, I chant 1 round a day without fail. But that's not what the instruction is. Like, if someone is following, that does means they follow according to the instructions. Like, say, if we are going to a doctor for some disease, and the doctor is prescribing some medicine, and he is saying you have to take this quantity of medicine in such and such time, before food, after food, everything. If we listen to everything and if we take the medicine on our own whims and say, I am not cured of the disease, there is no point in it. So it's not just, say, I do it on my own whims. It's not like that. It's, if you are doing, and if you mean that you are doing, it should also mean you follow the instructions. So here it is, Srila Prabhupada is clearly saying, dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who subdues his senses is eligible to achieve such knowledge. And for that person who have achieved it, he quickly attains the supreme spiritual peace. So that's the words of Srila Prabhupada. And further, Srila Prabhupada explained about this in lecture. Like, faith is something we have, it's an innate thing, we have it in our nature. We believe, we all have faith. And Srila Prabhupada put forth this example. We all go to Baba's shop and, we happily give our neck to the Baba who is saving. And he can just, in a second, put the blade in our neck. But we do believe he won't do it. And happily, with faith, and that's what it is important. It's faith that we do that. And also, take our everyday activity, just walking on a road, or going by bus or a train. There is chance, there is possibility that you may meet with an accident and die. But we have faith that that won't happen, and we do it. So it's like the faith is one thing that we have in our everyday activity. So if that faith is required even to do our everyday activity, and if you are looking to attain a spiritually, if you want to progress in your spiritual path, don't we need faith? So Srila Prabhupada is saying the faith is very important. So in this case, then another very important question arises. Faith is okay. Where do we keep our faith? Faith is okay. Like if we know, we put our faith in a wrong person, we'll definitely get burned. So faith is also, it's not about having a blind faith or faith on anyone or anything. And in exact words of Srila Prabhupada, the answer Srila Prabhupada is saying is, we have to put our faith in the authority, not on just anyone. And he's also giving an example for that. So, like say you are going to book a ticket, and we won't just go and book a ticket at any counter. We'll just go to either IRCTC or go to the particular authorized center, and we'll take our ticket, right? So it's just a common sense to have or to approach an authority to get the things done. So and he's saying that our faith also needs to be exactly put on the authority. So I just want to clarify. So far, or everyone following this, we talked about faith and why faith is important and why faith is even important to progress, do things in our everyday life. And we are sitting here to try to progress in our spiritual path, and why faith is so important. And Srila Prabhupada is explaining we have to put our faith in the authority. So again, let's agree now, like we just for the sake of it, we'll agree, we'll have faith. So one may ask, okay, I put faith in an authority, I agree to that. So what's in it for me? Definitely we do things only if we have, we definitely see what's in it for us. Any activity if you take, that is the one point that main point that we would see, anything we do. So in this verse, again, Srila Prabhupada is talking about another beautiful thing. It's Bhagavad Gītā 5.29. Srila Prabhupada says it's the peace formula. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloha maheshwaram suhrudam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam santim rachati. And the purport goes like this: a person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attain peace from the pangs of material miseries. So of course Srila Prabhupada is giving a formula saying how could you attain peace. So saying a person in full conscious of me, Lord, to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, and the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities. So shortly saying, we have to understand Lord is the proprietor of everything and not us. And it's a simple thing, right? Say, if you put it in this words, like if you own a car, okay, and you are just lending it for me just to have some purpose done, and I take the car in conscious of that I am not this owner of this car and it's your car, and how will I behave, how will I drive? I definitely, there's a big difference between owning, I think I own it and I think it's not mine and it's someone else and it's given for me for some purpose. And in that way, if you see, it's not a simple thing. If you just think about it, whatever we see, whatever that's under the sun, it's all property of Lord. That's what this verse explains. And if we have to understand, like I am not the owner and it's all of Lord's, and definitely then we'll definitely think, if it is the property of Lord, how am I supposed to handle these things? If it is not mine, if it is mine, then I am the owner, I can do anything and everything with what I have it in hand. But it is the property of Lord, then definitely the question arises, how should I behave? And that's why it's exactly called the peace formula. So, saying if one who understand this, the benefactor and well-wisher of all entities, those who understand this will attain peace from the pangs of material miseries. And then the Purport, Srila Prabhupada again explains, the greatest peace formula is simply this: Lord Krishna is the beneficiary of all human activities. Men should offer everything to the transcendental service of Lord, because He is the proprietor of the planets and all the demigods thereon. So the answer is this: if Lord is the proprietor of all, and Lord Himself is saying, we have to serve Him. Service again, we all are accustomed as to, if someone says something to you, do you feel happy or not? The natural tendency. Honestly, if you ask me to do something, the immediate reaction would be no. And immediately, before saying no, I would have formulated so many answers within my say why I can't do that. Definitely, we don't like service. It's something. If someone is serving me, I am very happy. But if I am supposed to serve someone, and then again, I work as a in an IT company as a programmer, and in our company they say that my salary is a compensation for the service I do. So that's the word. They compensate for whatever I does there. So that's how it is. When we say service, definitely we'll think back. It's not for me. And here we are in a say situation where Lord is saying all this is His property and we have to serve Him. And one may definitely ask, then is it fair? I mean, Lord is there who is all powerful, He owns everything, and He is demanding our service. Isn't it like, do we need to rebel against Him? Is it like, the old Bob Marley song, if you remember, do you want? So, I don't know. That's the mood I got, before I read Bhagavad Gītā and got the blessings of reading Srila Purport and meeting my spiritual master, being with the exalted Vaishnavas and actually live my life. Before that, my thought was like that. So, why should I serve? Man. Then there is a very good answer for this, and this I copy pasted from my Guru Maharaj's lecture. So I'll just read it, his own words. He's explaining, my Guru Maharaj is explaining, since everything is coming from Him, Supreme Lord, service to Him is called loving reciprocation. Since everything is coming from the original personality of Godhead, He is giving everything. I simply take without reciprocation. That is not a very nice situation. Actually, the tendency to serve is there in all of us. We all have the tendency to serve. The eternal occupation of living entity is to serve, and you can't take service out of living entity. So again, we just go a bit deep into this explanation. He's saying Supreme Lord is giving us everything, and all we do is simply take without giving back. And he's saying it's not a very nice situation. And sit back, and if I think about it, is it true? I mean, just say, like say I'm just for the sake of example, let's say consider I'm a wealthy person's son, and all I do is just sit there at home, eat my father's property without doing anything, and he might be happy, like he owns everything and he can afford to give it to me. But is it a good thing? I mean, honestly, if you just take and again take from someone you love, let it be your wife or husband or anyone, if there is love and if it is all that you do is just take, is there any meaning to it? I mean, with the same honesty which I opposed service, after I read this, I thought, I was completely wrong. I should be serving something. I should be giving back something, and that's not. I'm forced to do it. It's out of love that I do, which will make the other person happy. And of course, in the case of Supreme Lord, it's not that He is in need of our service. Of course, He owns everything, and there is no need for Him to. It doesn't matter whether you give the whole world to the amount of all the gold in this world to Him. It doesn't matter, because He already owns everything. All that matters is the simple loving reciprocation to the Supreme Lord. And also, it's not only that. Again, in that lecture, if you have noticed, what I was saying, the service, the tendency to serve is natural for us. It's our eternal dharma. It's like it can't be separated from us. So it's doing service, and doing service to the worthy person is absolutely, it's not a choice. Only if you do it, I would definitely say, if one is not serving the Supreme Lord by understanding all that we see or all that we do, everything is provided by Him, and definitely is in an illusion. He is not, we could definitely say maybe he may live in a bubble of happiness which may burst at any time, and we will have that anxiety within him, and there is no real peace within his heart. Only a person who understands all this is owned by the Supreme, and we have to serve Him. It's not by force, and we have to make the choice to serve Him, then only we will attain that real peace, the reciprocation, what we call, what they calls here, it's that only because of, that loving exchange that we can become a real happy person. So again, another concept, I don't know whether it's it's okay. Just one more thing which, if everyone is okay, we can, yeah. So in this verse there is another thing I'd like to say. There are two things, self-centeredness and Krishna-centeredness. Srila Prabhupada has given this example which I like very much. It's like, say you have a stone in your hand and you are in front of a pond and you are supposed to throw in, and if you choose to throw that stone in the pond in a place where you like, it creates a ripple. And just imagine everyone is throwing their own stone in the place they like, and every stone will create one ripple, and there is just clashes and the whole water will become muddy and everything is spoiled. But take the other way, if one is throwing a stone in one particular spot, the center of it, and everyone is throwing the stone in that particular part, and there is no clash in that, it all creates just one ripple, big ripple, and there are no clash. The other side is different and this side is different. So we can say selfishness will not allow us to a genuine well-wisher of others. Like, say if I am selfish and if I see someone is growing more than me, and again it's another thing, so far as someone is in the material life, I am saying, so far as someone is below me, then I am happy. I will say, okay, let him grow. The moment if I see if someone is going above me, then immediately I will become so sad. He is going above me. That tendency is there because I am self-centered. I don't want someone else to go above me. But in this case, if you are Krishna-centered and if you really really relish the taste of serving Krishna, and if someone else serves Krishna, it doesn't matter if you serve Krishna or if anyone else or the whole world serve Krishna, everyone will be happy. Like, it's not like if someone serves Krishna, I will get a bit less out of it. So that is the another thing I would like to say. If you really understand this wonderful process and really experience the wonderful transcendental happiness that you achieve by serving the Supreme Lord, not just by sentiment or not just by force. If you just read Srila Prabhupada books and really put that in your life in practice and really understand and derive the transcendental benefit out of it, then you would say, why did I miss all these things so far, so long? And that would be the perfection of your life. So again, the pure devotional service, it's not just enough to do devotional service. My Guru Maharaj used to say thousands of times, like say, devotional service is not enough. Pure devotional service should be there, because devotional service may not give you the benefit what that is, what you are expecting. We come to ISKCON, we definitely sacrifice many things to some extent, but if you are not doing what is said, what is being ordered by our spiritual master, by Srila Prabhupada, then definitely we are going to miss what that is really in store. So it's everyone should please take the devotional service in its purest form and derive the best that is in stores. That's a humble prayer from request and prayer from my side. And again, just want to add one more thing. The pure devotional service is so wonderful. It brings immediate relief to all the kinds of material distress, and it is the beginning of all auspiciousness, and it puts one in transcendental pleasure. And one amazing last, but the least thing, it is the only means to attract Krishna. So everyone please take this to this pure devotional service in its purest form. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you. So please forgive me if I have said anything wrong. And we have many exalted devotees here. If anyone want to add anything? Hare Krishna. Kadamrata Prabhu came. I see. That's all, and I would like to take this opportunity to say, if you have any questions, we have many senior Vaishnavas here. Please do put if you have any questions, and we can hear from them as well.
അസുര ജന്മങ്ങളിലേക്ക് ഭഗവാൻ ഇടുന്നു എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ആഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നു. അസുര ജന്മങ്ങളിലേക്ക് ഇടുന്നു എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ഭഗവാൻ എന്തെങ്കിലും റിവഞ്ചോടുകൂടി നമ്മളോട് അങ്ങനെ പെരുമാറുന്നു എന്ന് നമുക്ക് തോന്നും. നമ്മൾ ഒരു ആസുരികമായ പ്രവർത്തികൾ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ അസുര, പക്ഷേ ആക്ച്വലി അതിൻ്റെ അടുത്ത പർപ്പോർട്ടിൽ പ്രഭുപാദ് വെറൈറ്റീസ് ആൾസ് കൃഷ്ണൻ്റെ കാരുണ്യം കൊണ്ടാണ് അത് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ അതെങ്ങനെ മനസ്സിലാക്കാമെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ തെറ്റായ കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഉള്ള ആ ഫീലിങ്സ് എടുക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ യൂഷ്വലി അസോസിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ആൾക്കാരുമായിട്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ അങ്ങനത്തെ ഫീലിംഗ് വെച്ചാൽ നമുക്ക് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു അസോസിയേഷൻ നമ്മൾ ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഭഗവാൻ നെക്സ്റ്റ് ലൈഫിൽ നമ്മളെ വീണ്ടും വീണ്ടും താങ്ങുന്നത്.
So Hare Krishna Prabhu had a wonderful point. I'll just try to say that. And you may think, like, when Lord says he will put demoniac person into demoniac life, exact thing is I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence into various demoniac species of life. So one may think, why Lord is taking revenge to human? There is a chance that one may think, like, why Lord is taking revenge. So Prabhu wonderfully said in the next verse itself, it is said, it is actually the mercy of Lord to put us in such a position. Because if you say, imagine, like, say, if you are a drunkard, definitely you want to associate with a drunkard, not to a person who is so, not into that drink. So it is the mercy of the Lord to actually put one into such a place so that he can satisfy what is his, his own willingness. So that's, thank you so much. Yes.
You have mentioned that devotional service and purest form of devotional service. So my question is, there might be people who are doing the devotional service, like the normal people. They must go to the temples and sometimes they do arati at their home. They are doing devotional service. But what's the difference between the purest devotional service and this devotional service?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. So in Lord says in one verse, I reciprocate to all devotees, even though I am equal to everyone, I reciprocate to them according to their level of surrender. So definitely any devotee who comes to Lord, whether he is just doing one arati or just going to temple, definitely Lord reciprocates. But he personally take care of devotees who are completely surrendered to them. So that is the difference.
So what is mean by the complete surrender?
complete surrender, Lord Himself is saying in the Bhagavad Gītā, is saying, if you want to learn about it, you have to approach a spiritual master, surrender to him, render service unto him, and inquire from him to actually learn the devotional service. So, by that we say, of course, the spiritual master mercifully sees our material nature and mercifully engages us as per our the material quality that right now that we are in. But all the process is to take us or revive our loving relationship, the original loving relationship that we have with the Supreme Lord. So that original loving relationship, what we, not the material covering, as a soul, that whatever relationship that we have before we fall into this material world, through reviving that and doing that service is the, that mood, that is the original surrender. And the process, it's what, or Guru Parampara and
How do we
daily practice it. The process will ultimately take us there. So I think Prabhu will do a Kirtana or something. I think Prabhu is just... Yeah.
So clearly mentioned, bro, like you should do service, and you very clearly and logically explained that you should do service to Krishna because
Yes.
everything He's only giving us. But after hearing so many instructions, still we feel that actually sometimes I need something separate from Krishna. I need to enjoy separately from Krishna, even though I know that when I satisfy Krishna, that I will automatically satisfy. We know it logically, like following the root of the tree will satisfy entire branches and leaves. So how to come to that level that satisfy Krishna is my goal purely?
Yes, Prabhu. I think I'll just repeat my spiritual master's word. First, we have to understand, Prabhu, that this is my understanding. First of all, why we came here, because absolutely in the spiritual world, the little free will that we have, because love is something that cannot be forced. Someone can't put a gun on your head and say you love me. So that is why we have that little freedom to choose our choice whether to love Krishna or leave Krishna, and we are here. That is the proof that we choose to leave Krishna, and we have already made that decision to leave Krishna, and now we are trying to revive our original relationship to Him, and that's why we still since we have already made the decision to leave Krishna, and all the rebel that we feel we have in the heart is just that. And what we are trying is, like mentioned, whenever we take devotional service, it's declaring war against Maya. And then, of course, it is not easy. And without the shelter of spiritual master, and there's no way we'll go there. And taking shelter or taking the dust of spiritual master's feet just means exactly follow the words of spiritual master without diluting it as it is. If we follow, then we have the shelter of spiritual master. Then we'll taste the higher taste, and once we taste the higher taste, little, it's like in our early life, if someone is introduced to a cigarette or liquor, slowly they will get addicted because of the taste. The same thing, once we taste the higher taste, little by little, the spiritual master will give us more and more and more of that, and slowly we'll be drawn into that. And of course, at one point of time, I hope we should be able to surrender our heart fully, and it's a natural thing to go back to our original nature. It's not something we are inventing, it's just going back to our original nature. So that will definitely happen because that's the natural state. We are not doing anything artificial. It's just the process that we have to do with faith and with the fulfillment, the exact thing we'll have to follow. Just thank you, Hare Krishna. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki
Jai.